Since his opening day defeat at the hands of the Orioles, Chris Archer has produced a franchise record run of dominance, not allowing a single earned run in 26 and 2/3 innings. Tonight at the Trop, Archer looks to avenge that loss against Baltimore. Tropicana Field, the relocated three-game series between the Rays and the Baltimore Orioles continues. Coming off a victory yesterday by the Rays to open this series. Tonight, Game 2 between Tampa Bay and Baltimore. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson. Dwayne Stats, thanks so much for looking in tonight. Well, the Rays have had a run of outstanding pitching on full display last night. And tonight, Chris Archer, about as good as a pitcher can be, goes to the mound against the Baltimore Orioles.
Absolutely dominant is what Chris Archer has been. His last 4 starts, he has not given up an earned run. And when you look at the stuff, the fastball, the slider, the changeup, they've all been sharp. But it's how he's understanding how to use those pitches effectively. And I'm going to tell you something right now. When you can learn to sequence pitches with elite stuff, that is how you become a shutdown #1 starter. And Chris Archer, well on his way. And I'll tell you something else. He lost first start of the year against his Baltimore Oriole club in this building. You know that he is out for revenge tonight.
And there we take a look at the career numbers for Chris Archer against Baltimore, 1-2, and Miguel Gonzalez, the right-hander, 4-4. Rays beat him on the 8th of April here at Tropicana Field. Game 2 of this series, the Rays start the day in second place at the moment. Game and a half out of first. Rays baseball coming up in just a moment. Ready for baseball from Tropicana Field tonight. Rays and the Orioles in the season series, dividing the first 4 games right down the middle at 2-2. Miguel Gonzalez doing the pitching for Baltimore. Then we'll take a look at tonight's starting lineup, brought to you by your Southern Ford dealers. David DeJesus will lead it off. He's in left field tonight for the Rays. Steven Souza Jr. in right. And Drupal Cabrera hits third in front of Evan Longoria. Then James Loney. Desmond Jennings back in the lineup at DH. Good reason for that. Get into that in a moment. Logan Forsythe, Kevin Kiermaier, and Bobby Wilson rounding out the Rays lineup.
It's been a solid start to the season for the Orioles right-hander Miguel Gonzalez. 4 starts, 2-1 record, 3.42 earned run average. And a very good start here against the Rays in that opening series. 5 2/3 innings, just 1 earned run given up.
And here's David DeJesus, first pitch of tonight's game, presented by Pinch a Penny, and it's a ball, a fastball, up and away. DeJesus at 255. And now 1-1. Rays have won 7 of their last 9. And great pitching has carried the day for the Rays. Last night, 2 runs, 4 hits for the offense, and that was enough. A 2-0 win.
Well, how about the fact that the Rays have managed to win 5 games already this year when scoring 2 or fewer runs?
How about that?
Well, it speaks to that the pitching staff, the guys that are rolling out there starting, and as hot as the Rays bullpen is right now, getting the job done.
Rays again 3 games over 500 at 13-10, and that's a perch last year's club never managed to reach. Never more than 2 games over 500 all last season. That's a strike catching the corner on the inside edge. 1 away.
Well, let's take a look at that Oriole defense as it lines up tonight. Brought to you by BMW. In the outfield left to right, we have David Lowe, Adam Jones, and Travis Snyder. Across the infield third to first, Manny Machado, Everett Cabrera, Steve Pearce, and Chris Davis. Caleb Joseph will be behind the plate.
Steven Souza Jr. There's a first pitch strike by Gonzalez. Gonzalez, 30 years old. Born in Guadalajara, Mexico. He went up with the fastball. Not overpowering with the fastball, but he's not afraid to attack you with it.
No, and he's got pitchability. I mean, he knows what he's doing out there, how to move the ball around the zone, execute a game plan. Doesn't have that wow factor, but very effective for the Orioles.
Yeah, that fastball averages 90, 91, sometimes a tick or 2 above that, but right in that 90 to 91 area.
And he'll come at you. You know, he's got the curveball, the slider. He'll cut the fastball, a changeup. And like I said, he knows how to use them. Ooh.
Right there. How about that?
Yeah. Well, you know, the ball down in the zone last night was not being called consistently. That's a pretty good pitch right here.
1 out, 2-2 the count. A little tap. Machado up with it and a throw to first. Boy, Souza makes him close with his hustle. He's out at first. 2 up and 2 down.
Boy, he was digging there, and Manny Machado, you just don't have a lot of time with Souza Jr., and you know that going in. If you've read any scouting report on the way Souza gets down the baseline, And so Machado's got to charge that ball into the glove and out quickly.
Base is empty for Asdrubal Cabrera. He's got some pretty good numbers in just a handful of at-bats against Gonzalez. He's 3 for 8 with a home run and a double against him. The curveball drops low, 1 ball, no strikes. Two and 0. A 2-ball, no strike count. 2 and 1 now. Here we are in the top half of the first inning. 2 outs with the bases empty. And the pitch is high. Got a little lineup situation with the Rays brewing, and for more on that, let's check in with Todd.
Yeah, Dwayne, when I talked to Desmond Jennings earlier today, he said he wasn't quite 100%. And as it turns out, he is not the DH tonight. Right before the lineup card was handed in, Tim Beckham was put on the card as tonight's DH instead of Jennings.
3-1 pitch is skied to short right. Snyder coming in, making the catch, and the Rays are up and down 1, 2, 3. Go to the bottom of the first, no score. Baltimore lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Manny Machado is going to lead it off. Jimmy Paredes, and then Adam Jones, Chris Davis, Steve Pearce, and Travis Snyder down the middle. Caleb Joseph catches in 7th. David Lowe 8th, and then Everett Cabrera, the shortstop, bats 9th.
Well, taking the mound tonight for the Tampa Bay Rays, right-hander Chris Archer making his 6th start of the season, and those numbers speak for themselves. Absolutely dominant here in the early going.
Machado goes after the first one, lines it to right, and Souza is there. 1 away. Well, the Rays with that last-minute lineup change, and Desmond Jennings, who was originally in the lineup and just a last-second scratch, he was in there. As you know, he's had that knee issue, but was going to DH tonight. And he has great numbers against Gonzalez. He had 6 hits, 4 of those home runs off this guy. And at the last moment, he could not play.
I mean, at the very last moment, right before the lineup card got turned in, and you know, you wonder how much longer you can go with this situation, because effectively now this team has played a man down for the last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're playing with 24 guys against a full roster sitting across the dugout.
And with the team under Kevin Cash that utilizes its bench, they play. Listen, if you're on the team, you're going to play. And so to be a man down, not good.
Liner caught by Forsythe. 2 gone.
Now let's take a quick look at the Ray defense as it lines up tonight. Brought to you by BMW. In the outfield left to right, we have DeJesus, Kiermaier, and Souza Jr. Across the infield, third to first, Longoria, Cabrera, Forsythe, and Loney, with Bobby Wilson behind the plate.
A couple of line drive outs here for Archer. 2 up, 2 down, and Adam Jones will bat.
And notice what Buck Showalter has done with his lineup. You talk about a hot pitcher, you want him to constantly change his sight lines. He's gone righty-lefty, 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 and then lefty with the switch hitters. So you're going to have this back and forth. And, you know, Buck Showalter, no stranger to putting these kind of lineups together when you've got a pitcher out there that's locked in.
Line drive, positioned perfectly. Forsythe. So a quick first inning. 3 line drive outs. Evan Longoria will open the second. In the game tonight, an all-season long, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports. And in steps Evan Longoria. Loney and Beckham to follow here in the second inning against right-hander Miguel Gonzalez. Evan starts the night hitting .295. Pitch upstairs. He's 7 of 25 in his career against Gonzalez with a home run and 4 walks.
That's something that the Rays lineup has been able to do against Miguel Gonzalez. As effective as he's been, you know, he started against the Rays 12 times, 4-4, ERA 3.82, but in 66 innings coming into tonight, 40 walks.
And just 5 quality starts in those 12 starts he's made. Cut on the fastball up, 2-1.
I got to tell you, I'm a big fan of Evans' new road kicks.
Here's a look at them. Coordinated.
Looks like he's got a onesie on.
And the foul ball runs the count full. And Pierce right up the middle at second base behind the bag.
Getting another start. You know, yesterday was his first professional start or appearance at second base. Now getting another one. Buck Showalter said, listen, we just want him to be out there. Don't make the big mistake. Make the routine plays. Don't have to do anything extraordinary. Just don't hurt us.
Yeah, they're really short-handed around the middle infield. We mentioned J.J. Hardy is out. Ryan Flaherty's out. Jonathan Scope, who's been their everyday second baseman, also on the disabled list. So they're scrambling for middle infielders. Count the miss. Longoria missed the fastball.
You know, and a couple of times tonight, you know, early on you wondered if it was just by chance, but Miguel Gonzalez has been climbing the ladder against these Rays hitters here. I know it's 4 hitters in, but he's gotten the number of swings and misses on balls elevated in the zone. You wonder if he's starting to incorporate that into his game plan.
Well, his first strike was like that to Longoria.
Yeah, absolutely. Went up on DeJesus like that.
James Loney lifts it into left center field. Low on the run and is there in line with that 370 marker to grab it. Loney taking that one the other way. Well, within range of Lowe.
David Lowe had a good route to that ball. Got there in plenty of time.
And Tim Beckham. That's the fastball. Strike one. We're talking about the middle infield situation. The Orioles are hoping that both Hardy and Flaherty will be in good enough physical shape coming off the DL to maybe start a rehab assignment this weekend or Monday. Ground ball through the left side. There's a base hit off a curveball. 2-out single for Beckham.
And what a great job by Tim Beckham staying back on that pitch. You know, he got his leg up in the air ready to, you see it right there, poised, but then he gets the foot down. The hands stay back. Reads that pitch very well and then pops it through the hole.
He's been interesting to watch hit this year, obviously because of what he's done to work counts and get down 2 strikes and then create an extended at bat. But he's made some in at bat adjustments from time to time. There's Logan Forsythe.
And often on short notice has been coming off the bench a lot for the Rays. Effectively, I might add.
Out of play, the foul ball, strike one.
Yeah, we've seen a number of those at bats that he's put together, 10, 12 pitches, fouling off pitches, and you can see those adjustments being made mid at bat. That was a really nice job. You know, if you're going to have that leg kick as a timing mechanism, sometimes that can be thrown off real easy. But he did a nice job of keeping the hands back and kept everything in sync.
Draw the toss over there. Opponents did do some running off Gonzalez last year. Not much so far this year in 4 prior starts, but he gave up 14 steals and just a couple caught stealings last year. Foul back. But as we discussed last night, if you give Caleb Joseph half a chance, he can be dangerous to try to run on.
And, you know, that's what this Baltimore staff has going for it. You know, Matt Wieters before the hurt elbow, he was a guy catch and throw. Caleb Joseph very good also. And so if you have a decent time to the plate, you can slow down the running game dramatically.
Starting to stop, and now a snap throw to first. Beckham back in. Count 1-2 on Forsythe. into first. Gonzalez keeping an aware eye on Beckham at first. Rays rookie with a base hit. That's base runner of the game.
That was not his good move. That was a two-part move. Foot off the back of the rubber and then the throw over. That was not the quick feet. See how he kind of steps off and then turns the body. Varying his times. He'll vary his leg kick. Sometimes he'll go tall with the leg kick and quick. Other times more of a slide step. Deliberate move there.
Yeah, you can see those moves sometimes sent from the dugout with a runner over there, a couple of outs, and he bluffed his start. Breaking ball, chopped to third. Down to second the short way to get the force on Beckham. Bottom of the second, coming up, no score. Game changer. How about this? Among the American League earned run average leaders, Archer's at 0.84 to start this game. That's only good enough for third. Look at Nick Martinez and Dallas Keuchel from the Rangers and the Astros 1-2.
Well, how about Dallas Keuchel leading the way for the Houston Astros, who just don't lose anymore?
No, their pitchers don't walk anybody, and they can hit some home runs.
I mean, they're right now, what is it, a 5-game lead as we go into play today in the American League West?
Yeah, they're trying to win their 9th in a row.
Who saw that coming?
1-1 the count on Chris Davis. Looks at foul, out of play. Well, so far for Davis, it's been everything or nothing. He has 16 runs batted in, hitting .257, and 32 strikeouts in 74 at bats for him. And he's out on strikes. Foul tip, strikeout. Now Steve Pearce, who's in that lineup tonight at second. A little flashback here. Here's 2 for 5 with a couple of home runs in his career against Chris Archer. And the pitch is a strike.
Well, Archer has given up 2 home runs on the season, 1 to Pearce on that fastball, and he gave a 1 to Alejandro Diaz on a changeup.
This one toward the middle, and right there with the shift is Forsythe.
And how about Chris Archer and that at-bat going right back inside? That was the pitch that Pierce hit out, was the fastball middle in, and he goes right back in there saying, listen, that's where I'm going to go, and he gets the out.
So 2 quick outs. Archer giving up the 3 runs, 2 earned, and 5 2/3 against Baltimore opening day. And 7 shutout, 1 hit performance against the Marlins the next time. 7 innings, 2 hits, and shutout baseball in Toronto. Gave up 1 unearned run and 5 2/3 to the Red Sox, and nothing in 7 innings on 2 hits to the Blue Jays. There's a strike to Travis Snider. Pretty close right there. Wow.
Now, very, very similar to the pitch that David DeJesus got rung up on. You know, we've seen Chris Archer in streaks like this before. Maybe not 4 consecutive starts, but I mean 4 or 5 in a row where he's throwing the ball very, very well. But this time it feels different.
Sure does.
Feels more sustainable now. And I think it's because he's always had the stuff, but he's learning how to use the stuff. He has an idea now of how pitches work in unison and how he can sync them up. And I think that's the difference. And I think that's why, you know, he's not going to throw, 20 consecutive scoreless or without giving up an earned run. But you're going to see this success be able to be sustained for long periods of time because he knows what he's doing out there.
Fastball wide, taken for ball 3, and the count is full. And he doesn't seem to get ahead of himself now. He's poised out there. He's the guy at the controls. And that pitch is a little up. Snider draws the walk.
Well, that's not something you see very often either. Chris with just 6 walks coming into tonight's start. Been very good at being economical with his pitches, averaging under 15 an inning while still raking out big strikeout numbers.
Now he faces Caleb Joseph. Yeah, you mentioned the streaks before that he's been in. In fact, his ERA this past month in April was 0.84. Remember in July of 13 he had that month when it was 0.73.
And that 0.73 was on stuff alone. The 0.84 in April this year is the stuff combined with he's pitching now. And there's a difference.
It's out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And this is where we know that right-handed hitter, left-handed hitter, this is where Archer loves to come with the slider. Been so good for him here through the early part of this season that he's almost at 60% slider with 2 strikes.
Struck out Davis with a slider. And goes down and away with 1 here on Joseph. 2-2.
With that break, you can see why you'd fall in love with it.
Tries it again. Joseph lays off. Full count. A couple quick outs, then the full count walk to Snider. Down 3-2 on Joseph. See loading up, down and away there with the slider. Tries a slider again, and Joseph lays off. Back-to-back walks.
It just could not find the release point on that pitch and make the adjustment. He got ahead 1 and 2 and went with 3 straight sliders, all really to the same exact spot. A good portion off the plate, and that's going to bring Jim Hickey out there. Try to get him back in line. Like we said, we don't see Chris with too many walks, now back-to-back.
So Jim Hickey talks it over with Chris Archer out there. It's already been a long day for Hickey. He saw his son Austin graduate from Florida State, getting a degree in information technology. Now his first meeting on the mound tonight.
Been a long day for Jim, and figure it's going to be a lot longer. He's got work to do here tonight, and then you know that when this game's over, he's going to go find somewhere to watch the big prize fight. A big day today.
Quick turnaround tomorrow, day game. Here's David Lowe. It's a fastball missing up. Lowe with 10 at bats this year. He's 3 out of 10. Another fastball, and that's fouled away. 1-1. Two balls and a strike.
Right now, Chris just trying to find that consistent release point. Evaded him here the last couple of hitters. He missed that first fastball up to low. Then he was good in the zone. Then he pulled that fastball down below the zone.
Fly ball to left, and De Jesus is there to make the catch. 2 men left. We go to the third. No score. Brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By Sea-Doo. Sea-Doo Spark, the most affordable watercraft on the water, starting at only $49.99 or as low as $79 a month. And by Grow Financial. Don't go through life, grow through life with Grow Financial Federal Credit Union. Kevin Kiermaier about to lead off the third against Miguel Gonzalez. Strike. And the slider was up a little bit.
That's something to keep your eye on to see if that's part of the plan. Sliders up are not ever part of the plan.
Fastball foul back, 0-2.
Well, he's been effective with the fastball up in the zone. We've seen that already a couple of times. I want this one up. Let's see. That might be something. Doing. Yeah, absolutely.
Fastball up out of the zone there, ahead in the count.
We've seen the Rays pitching staff and how effective they are using the elevated fastball.
That's lined into center for a base hit. The Rays have a base runner, and here's Kiermaier headed to second and safely in.
Wow.
Kiermaier aggressively running that into a double. How about that?
I mean, that's maybe the most impressive one to date. You're always looking to take the extra base. You go back to the pitch, which was an elevated slider, not good. But then watch this. He reads it and says, I'm doing it. Adam Jones got a little bit lax out there in center field, and Kiermaier absolutely is in there ahead of the tag.
Some aggressive heads-up baseball by Kevin Kiermaier on the bases. That's his 7th double for every hitter in the league. That's a single, except for Kiermaier.
And he's done that a number of times, but to test Adam Jones like he just did, he got him.
Wilson, a ground ball deep short. Throw in time. Cabrera to Davis. Take another look at this.
You see right there, Adam Jones staying flat-footed, not at all believing that Kiermaier would. Listen, he's right on 99.9% of the hitters in this league. That's the one you cannot assume. Kiermaier always looking to take the extra base, and if he sees that kind of action out in front of him from an outfielder, he's gone.
And it's so important for the Rays to be able to do this, because the fact of the matter is the offense is not going to break down the fences night in and night out. They have to create their own opportunities, and right here he runs that into a run scoring opportunity to lead off an inning. Here's David DeJesus, strike one. DeJesus called out on strikes his first time. Pickoff play at second. He's back in.
Well, you could see the previous pitch, Kevin Kiermaier getting a lead, almost trying to time up Miguel Gonzalez, being very aggressive. If you were going to try and swipe third base, it would be in this situation with one out. And so the Orioles now paying some attention to Kevin.
Into right center field. Jones makes the catch. Kiermaier with a tag, and the throw will not be in time. A good throw by Jones on the move up to third by Kiermaier.
I like this little rivalry going on with center fielders here. Evan Kiermaier going to test Adam Jones again. Adam Jones and put a good throw over to third base. Strong throw. Kiermaier just too quick.
Jones looking for a little redemption on a possible play at third.
Well, you know that has chapped him something fierce. You getting run on like that, no outfielder likes that feeling, especially one as defensively accomplished as Jones.
Here's Sousa putting down a bunt. Barehanded pickup, and the throw to first is in time. Machado throws out Sousa as the Rays tried to bunt a run home, and Sousa is out third to first. Rays leave a man. Bottom half of the third coming up. We are scoreless, and here's the play by Machado.
Archer, you guys were showing earlier the ERA leaders, despite the 0.84 earned run average for Archer. Third right now in the American League. But guys, when you break down who he has faced, he really deserves consideration for AL Pitcher of the Month, along with maybe Keuchel and Martinez, because look at who he's faced. Toronto not only leads the AL, they lead the ML, Major Leagues, in runs per game. He's also faced these Orioles on opening day, third in the AL in runs scored, and the Miami Marlins are third in the National League in runs scored. So he has gone through some choppy waters en route to his sub-1 ERA.
Well, that's a great point. He's faced some tough lineups without question.
Well, it all boils down, like with every pitcher, is executing your pitches. And he has done that as well as we've ever seen it. There's another great example.
Wilson with a toss down. An 0-2 slider picks up the strikeout.
And we talked about the fact that he really loves that pitch with 2 strikes, and you understand why. Well, look at the depth that he gets on this pitch. The break is so late, and you can see Cabrera missed that by plenty.
And here is Machado, who lined to right his first time up. Takes the pitch high, slider up. This is the battle of socks right here, Machado and Archer.
Like them both.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good look.
Machado's shoes. A little trimmer look there in the footwear by Archer. Chris behind Machado, 3-0.
Talk about Chris Archer staying tall over the rubber and getting his hand out in front. That's why his stuff is so explosive. Right now, the body getting a little bit ahead of the hand. Better there. Adjustment was made. But those first 3 pitches, when you see Chris Archer missing up in the zone, a lot of pitchers for that matter, missing up in the zone, a lot of times drifting towards home plate too soon. Like right there.
And he gives up his 3rd walk.
When you drift towards home plate too soon, the arm never gets out in front. And if the arm never gets out in front, you're going to leave pitches high. Just never get to your consistent release point. And that's something that he has not struggled with at all. We've seen it here the last couple of innings. See if he can make that adjustment and get back in line.
Prior to tonight, 2 had been his high walk total. That came in an 11 strikeout performance in 7 innings against the Blue Jays. He's now walked 3 in this game of the first 10 men he's faced.
And that's exactly what Jim Hickey is seeing from the dugout. He can see him leaking, starting things. The body's heading too quickly towards home plate.
Now, people ask, what do pitching coaches do? This is as pivotal and a big part of their job as anything they do.
Right. And you know what? A good pitching coach will let the pitcher try to figure it out himself. You know, Chris Archer's accomplished enough to say, hey, listen, you've got to be your own pitching coach out there. So I'm going to give you 3-4 pitches, you know, depending on the game situation. And if I see you consistently not being able to make that adjustment, now I'm going to take my visit. Now, my visits are done, so you better figure it out at this point.
Cut and a miss by Paredes. 1-1. Archer walked 2 with 2 outs in the second, a 1-out walk in the third. Paredes fouls it back, now 1-2. Chop that will be foul. There's the count and a ball and 2 strikes.
Much better these last few pitches to Paredes to get back in this count 1-2 now. looking to put him away. Take a ground ball double play here, or this is where Archer will go for the strikeout.
The foul ball. Paredes about a week and a half off the disabled list. He had a lower back issue early in April. About the third week in April came off the list, and he's been swinging a good bat. In fact, an extra base bat. Came in hitting .372. He's got 3 homers, a triple, and 4 doubles. 2-2.
We talked about the disabled list, and you think about J.J. Hardy and the offense that he'll bring from the shortstop position. Matt Wieters, those guys are out. Nelson Cruz no longer here. Nick Markakis no longer here. Chris Davis, he's been productive, but still.
Whoa. Line drive up the middle. Base hit to center. That moves Machado to second, and Paredes hit that ball hard.
Yeah, he did. And I'll tell you what, the Rays had him defensed properly. That just tells you how hard that ball was hit. There was just no chance. Here's a slider, and Paredes gets inside of it and lines that thing right back up the middle. No chance for anybody to get there.
Well, now trouble. Adam Jones. The interesting thing, Jones, who lined to second his first time, is just 1 for 15 off Archer. He leads the league in hitting, starting the day at .380. Fly ball, right center field. Kiermaier on the run. He's going to make the catch. Back to tag as Machado headed to third. He'll be there with 2 outs and men on the corners as Kiermaier went after that fly ball into right center field to haul it in.
Well, Adam Jones is going to make a bid. And you can see already Kiermaier playing deep, able to range over into right center field and make the catch. And just for a little added spice, leave his feet.
Little hang time there.
Little hang time.
2 outs with runners on the corners, and now Chris Davis. Archer made some good pitches to Davis. Got ahead 1-2 and struck him out with a slider down and in. Faces him again here in the 3rd inning. Dismissed. Fastball 1-0. This is a big hitter for Archer, who has not been as sharp as he'd like to be. And if he could get through this inning without them scoring, that'd be a big lift. And a base hit the other way through the open left side. That's going to score Machado. Big turn at second. Throw back in, and Paredes safely in. So Davis hit it the other way.
He did, and that's not what you're expecting, but Chris Davis, we saw him take some fastballs, normally pitches that he's very aggressive on in last night's game for called 3rd strikes. And he takes a ball that's away from him here, and instead of trying to pull it and do too much, he just takes his RBI, spanks that ball the other way. Good job here by David DeJesus. He really hung up Paredes right there. And I'll tell you, a little bit more accuracy on the throw, and they'll get him.
First and second, 2 outs. Here's Steve Pearce. And the pitch in the dirt, and a nice block by Wilson. 1-0. One. Nice slider there. So the scoreless streak comes to an end. So he had started the night 26 2/3 and 2 innings under his belt. 2 outs into the 3rd inning.
Does he get those 2 outs? Do we know
Fly ball into right center field, and on the run, that ball's going to be off the wall. Paredes will score. Here's another man trying to score, and over to third. Pierce is going to be out there, but the Orioles come up with a big inning with 2 outs. See, Paredes scores. That ball stayed up on the wall. And we go to the 4th. Baltimore leading. Turns out in the bottom of the 3rd, Chris Davis scored the 3rd run as Pierce was thrown out at 3rd. So he crossed the plate before the 3rd out was made. And the Orioles have a 3-0 lead as the Rays hit in the 4th. Cabrera leads off and takes ball 1.
Well, now you need the Rays bats to get going here. Got to play some catch up.
Strike on the inside corner, 1-1. Boy, you know, there's a case where a big hitter like Davis took the ball the other way to not only get a run, but in this case, keep that inning going. And Pierce delivered the double to right center, chasing home 2 more. Pierce had been struggling, as we mentioned last night. He had about 5 days off where he just had to get away and tried to find himself at the plate again. It's been tough against Rays pitching. Two and 2 the count to Cabrera. So technically on that extension and the eventual end of the scoreless streak, 28 2/3. But if you get real technical in terms of reality, he had a 30 inning scoreless streak,
which is absolutely the way it should be recognized.
Yeah, and that's the way it used to be. I'm not sure what the rationale is for disallowing outs that a pitcher gets.
Well, you give up the run scores on a whatever play it is, and then after that run scores, you retire 2 more hitters. But then the streak doesn't start until the following inning, and then of course he doesn't get credit for the 2 outs that he had gotten before Chris Davis's RBI single.
Yeah,
makes no sense.
Shortstop now Machado on that left side goes out to get it. So Cabrera is out of there. Pop to left.
tell you.
What a way. Well, here's the deal on that. It's not a major issue, but it just bugs you. But so what? If a pitcher pitches 6 2/3, he really only pitched 6. You can't give him those 2/3.
well, apparently they gave him at some point 2/3 because it ended at 28 2/3.
Yeah, I mean, relief pitchers would never get credit for partial innings. You get 2 outs, that's 2/3 of an inning. 1 strike to count on Longoria.
It's too
something
hard.
Else to bug us.
Too hard,
Too
Dwayne.
hard. Yeah, it's tough enough to get big league hitters out.
Well, you know what, and speaking of which, the margin for error at this level is so razor thin. You had just made the point that Chris Archer was so close to getting out of that inning. Mechanically right now he's struggling just a little bit with his release point, not as crisp as he's been. Doesn't mean he's not going to find it next time he comes out there, but you're trying to fight through that inning and not give anything up. And it's a nice job by Chris Davis to just take that pitch that's down and away from him the other way, and then all of a sudden Steve Pearce gets a ball that hangs out over the plate, and this Oriole team has put up 3 runs that quick.
We'll take the count to 2-2. The psychological swing. Now both these clubs are going to compete the rest of the night, but think of the psychological swing there. If the Rays get out of that inning, it's a lift for them.
Oh yeah.
And the Orioles are thinking, boy, we let this guy off the hook again. How many more opportunities are we going to get?
How many times have we seen that happen?
Yep.
No doubt.
Pitch in on Longoria, pops it foul, and Machado's after it, has room. 2 gone. And as a result now, the Orioles are thinking, well, we cashed in there and didn't let that get away, so they get a little spring in their steps.
And now you've got a Rays lineup that, they realize we're 3 runs down. Got to start putting something together.
And the Rays are, their strength's going to be pitching and defense. They're 10th in the league in runs scored. So that's why when Davis was up there, he became such a critical hitter for Archer.
They're one of 2 teams that average under 4 runs a game that have a winning record. It's them and the Pirates.
That's how razor thin it is, and how great the pitching has been, and the ability to catch the baseball behind the pitching. Foul ball takes the count to 1-1.
Yeah, and so if this is going to be an average night for the Rays offensively, you can't give up any more, or you'll lose the game 4 to 3.87 or something like that.
A strike call. Joseph, he's trying to get him with 2 strikes there.
Very, very excited.
Hey, they're not giving pitchers credit for fractions of innings, so you just cut the at bat short. 2 strikes, you're out. Joseph trying to help his pitcher.
The pace of play taken way too far.
Loney stays alive. That's a foul ball. Or no, I guess it's not. It's just a swing and a miss. That ball deflected off Joseph, and so a swing and a miss. Loney strikes out to end the inning. Bottom of the 4th coming, 3-0. Orioles half of the fourth. We'll take a look at the Toyota trend for the Rays over the last 8 games, in which they've won 6. Have gotten outstanding pitching, and look at that ratio.
You get that from one pitcher, you're happy. 5-1 strikeouts to walks. You don't hurt yourself with unnecessary base runners, and you don't even allow the other team to put the ball in play.
Two strikes. Snyder fouling it away. Well, that has been for Archer, like a lot of the Rays pitchers, one of his strengths, because he'd walked 1 man against Baltimore in the first outing, 1 against Miami, 2 against Toronto, 1 against Boston, and 1 against Toronto again, and 3 in the first 3 innings of this game, and he's given up 3 runs. Snyder is out on strikes. 1 away in the fourth. You'll flip over the limited edition Rays tumbler you get when you buy a Rays Flex Pack starting at just $59. Save up to 50% and pick any 3, 6, or 9 games. No blackout dates. Plus get half off parking when using the funds loaded to your Rays card. Get yours at RaysBaseball.com or call 888-FAN-RAYS. Caleb Joseph takes a strike. Those Rays tumblers look pretty good. We might have to get a couple up here to quench ourselves through, an evening of baseball.
Well, then you wouldn't have to double cup.
Yeah.
You're a big fan of the double cup. I think that the Rays tumbler takes that completely out of the question.
Yeah. So we should put the alert out that we're looking for a couple of those.
We may have to pick up a couple of flex packs. We pick up a couple of flex packs, donate them, and get our tumblers.
Good idea.
We'll put Callis on it. He'll get it done.
All right. So somebody call Todd. See if we can accomplish that by the evening's end.
Somebody was trying to call us in between innings. Did you hear that?
I did. Never pick up the phone during a game. Never.
I don't like to pick it up after the game either. Never
and
goes
you have
well.
a point there.
It never goes well for me.
On the road, you go back to your hotel room. Ground ball down to third. Longoria makes a nice play, and Joseph is out of there.
I'll tell you what, they had Evan lined up perfectly to make that play because that ball was well struck. Close to that line.
A nice job of him moving to his right there to get in front of that.
Instead of playing a backhand, absolutely. Anytime you can square up and then you can step into the throw.
David Lowe. 1-0 the count. A fastball in the mid-90s missed. And he stays upstairs. Another miss with the fastball.
That's just one. This is one of those nights where you don't have everything clicking like it has been. We've seen Chris Archie's been like a robot out there, as good as he's been. But right now, just having a hard time being able to consistently deliver the ball to home plate with his good mechanics. Drifting just a little bit early.
Well, he picks up the zone there just barely.
Yeah. Now, he's been fighting it all night.
Count full. That's going to go through the left side. It was a big hole on the left side with Cabrera pulled toward the middle. Lowe has a 2-out single. Not the shift, but boy, they did have Cabrera close to the middle of the infield. Now Cabrera, the number 9 hitter, looks at a strike. That third out has been an issue tonight in the last 3 innings for Archer. Got 2 outs in the second, gave up a couple walks before getting out number 3. A couple of outs, 3 runs scored in the third. Chopper to Longoria. Cabrera's out of there. Not too bad this time. On to the 5th, 3-0 Baltimore. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, celebrates its 13th year. Keep an eye on the Rays competition and watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitching tracking widget, and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV. Rays trying to figure out Miguel Gonzalez. A couple of hits through 4 innings, but no runs. Tim Beckham leads off the 5th. Fouls it back. Rays started the day 13-10. The Durham Bulls, their AAA club, also started the day 13-10, running second a game out. The Rays started the morning in second place in the East, a game out. Mikey Montook, since going back to Durham as coming into play today, reached base in 11 of 12 games and has hit better than .340 down there in that stretch. So he is making the most of his time with the Durham Bulls.
When you wonder if this knee issue continues to linger with Desmond Jennings, are we going to see somebody come up? Tried to get him in the lineup tonight. Late scratch.
Yeah, the Rays a liner to center, caught by Jones. Yeah, the Rays were hoping they could use this bat. We touched on it briefly. He had 4 home runs, 7 RBIs, and 7 walks in his career against Miguel Gonzalez.
Well, the other thing that's concerning about it was it wasn't like he was playing the field tonight. All he was going to do is DH. So you're talking 3 or 4 at bats, and just couldn't go.
So you wonder just how serious that is now. You hope that it's not, because he could be a very important part of this lineup. A strike to Forsythe. So we'll wait and see what the evaluation is and what they do going forward. But the point you made about as long as he can't play and he's active, they're playing with a 24-man roster.
Right, and if he couldn't pull the trigger tonight and could not go DHing, you don't envision seeing him running around in the outfield anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
Tough situation for the team to be in.
I did see him down in the tunnel before the game and just said hello, and he looked as if he was ready to go. There's a shot toward the corner. Extra bases for Forsythe. That's his 6th double of the year. So I don't know if something happened. Obviously the Rays thought he could go too, and he appeared, I think he was going down to get some hitting in the cage, and had the look about him that he was looking forward and happy to be active again. So let's hope that there's nothing too serious there. It's Kevin Kiermaier. Inside 1-0. Two-0 count to Kevin Kiermaier. Well, a 1-out double, and the Rays have a scoring opportunity. Ground ball to the right side. Forsythe still at second. Pierce had to move to his left a bit.
And you can see Logan shaking his head right there. You just assume on a ground ball to the right side, of course Logan is going to be at third. And just caught flat-footed there.
Mm-hmm.
Did not move up.
Bobby Wilson. Foul back, strike one.
Well, here's that play that we're talking about. Ground ball to the right side, and
you can see by his reaction, he's not happy with himself.
No, just a brain cramp.
Foul straight back, and it's out of play. So Bobby Wilson with 2 outs trying to do something here to get the Rays on the board. He's still alive up there with that foul ball through the coaching box.
Well, you'd really like, for reasons that you talked about earlier, the mental makeup of a team, this would be a big run to get back. Down on the count, 0-2, 2 outs. Bottom of the order. If you somehow find a way to get a base hit here and chip into the lead and boost the spirits.
A pop into shallow center. Jones makes the catch. Rays leave a man at second. Still no runs. It's 3-0 Baltimore. By Geico. It was on this day in 2013. The Rays and Royals started the game with a temperature of 41, a feel like of 32 degrees, and the teams got through only 3.5 innings due to that first measurable May snowfall in Kansas City since 1907. And you can see everyone enjoyed that snowy day, including our compatriot Todd Callis.
He certainly did, taking it all in. That was the day, Dwayne, that I was taking that selfie.
Yeah.
I had the phone out, taking the selfie, and the rogue snowflake.
Yeah, big snowflake.
Almost took me out.
1-1. Two balls and a strike. Usually a snowflake's not that dangerous, but one that size, you got to be careful. Forsythe takes care of Machado's ground ball to the right side. One away.
Number 38, Jimmy Paredes.
Jimmy Paredes up here. One out. Base is empty. One strike count. Two. Three strikeouts tonight for Archer. Walked 3. Just with a fastball, 1 and 2. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Well, it's never fun to have a night like this where you're just constantly battling with yourself, trying to get things right, trying to get on some kind of a roll. You know, your team's still in this game.
And you know, the point I think you made early in the game about how Buck Showalter structured this lineup may not be the cause of this, but it is an element that presents a challenge as this lineup goes lefty righty all the way through. Fly ball lifted to Kiermaier in center field. Keeps his eye on it, makes the catch, 2 gone.
You know, when I was pitching for Buck Showalter and would face the Giants with Dusty Baker as the manager, he did it to me all the time.
And it was an issue, right?
Well, yeah, it makes things more difficult in the sense. I mean, listen, you're still a big league pitcher, and you got to be able to hit your spots. But what it does is every hitter, you're changing your sight lines. A pitcher's bread and butter is the fastball down and away. Everything kind of builds off of that. You establish that, and then you pitch in, then you're breaking stuff. All of that is how typically things go. And if you're constantly changing a pitcher's sights with the fastball down and away, then it can become very difficult. So you start off with a righty like Machado. Okay, down and away is glove side. Then immediately the next hitter, Paredes, down and away is hand side. You know, and then it just continually flops back and forth. So you continually are changing a pitcher's sights, and that can be difficult.
Well, they just finished getting Paredes, who's hitting left-handed, switch hitter batting left. Got him on that fly ball. Now here comes Jones. Tries to throw him a slider and didn't quite get it where he wanted it.
Not at all. And that the pitch was down, but it was down middle. It wasn't down and away. And you just don't know how much of that plays into what has gone on tonight. But it certainly, that lineup was not put together by Buck Showalter by chance. You know, he moves Machado up to lead off. He doesn't hit lead off. And then you start to look and you go, oh, righty, lefty. Oh, okay, I see what's going on here. So far, he's got to feel like it's working.
1-1. Well, if you're an opposing team facing Archer, as excellent as he's been, you think, I've got to try something. Two and one. Archer up to 80 pitches right now. And behind Chris Davis, 3-1. Davis is 3 for 8 in his career, including that base hit through the left side tonight in the third that turned out to be so big. Full count. So Jones at first with a full count on Davis after this strike 2 pitch.
Well, staying away from him. Davis, though, has that kind of power. He can still take you out to left field, left center. So you've got to be quality here.
He loses him low. Archer showing some frustration with himself right there after walking Davis. And again, 2 outs in this inning. It's suddenly 2 men on.
Now not getting the chase. And you're right, it's just been a frustrating night, and Chris Archer's continually had to battle more than anything else himself.
Here's Steve Pearce, who delivered the double to drive in 2 in the third. First pitch is low. Well, here's the extra challenge right now. You get 2 outs, give up a single, walk a guy, upset with yourself. You've really got to refocus now.
Yeah, just having a hard time finding it. And you're right, you need this out. You know, you cannot allow the Orioles to extend this lead any further. And obviously concerned in the Rays dugout, hoping that for this hitter here, Steve Pearce, who's given the Rays trouble through his career, he can find a way.
2-1.
That's the thing with Chris Archer too, is his stuff is so good that even when he's struggling, you say, okay, just outstuff this hitter, just outstuff him, you know, whatever you got to do to continue to fight on.
That gets the count back even. Pierce fouls a fastball away. Davis at first, Jones at second. Foul ball, back a third, grabbed there by Longoria. He got him. Strikes him out with a slider, leaving 2 men. So the score remains 3-0 Baltimore. game summary. The Orioles have built a 3-0 lead. Chris Davis with 2 outs in the third singled home Manny Machado. Steve Pearce lifting a 2-base hit off the wall into right center field, scoring for Reyes and Davis. And Miguel Gonzalez is taking care of the rest for the Orioles. 5 shutout innings so far.
And that's how Miguel Gonzalez gets it done, very quietly. Just out there, 3 hits, no runs. Just moving that ball around the zone, picking his spots. And very effective.
Top of the order for the Rays in the 6th inning. David DeJesus looking for his first hit of the night, 0 for 2. Right center. Jones makes the catch.
Now, the one thing that Miguel Gonzalez has been consistent in with his starts against the Rays, the walk, he has not afforded them any. Just cut down on the opportunities.
Yeah, that'd been an issue. Really, his walk rate was up a little over 4 every 9 innings so far this year, but nothing tonight in just the 3 hits. Steven Souza Jr. tried to snap an 0 for 10 with a bunt attempt in the 3rd and was thrown out by Machado. So Steven right now is 0 for his last 11. But good to have the ability to bunt and that speed to stay out of prolonged slumps. And then that big time power we've seen from him.
And he's been close a couple of times tonight, and I'll tell you what, right now, Tim Welke giving him the rookie business on the strike zone here with these first 2 pitches. He's not called a pitch down there all night long.
And strike 3. Gonzalez just stayed right out there.
But listen, if we're sensing it up here, Miguel Gonzalez is too. And he's like, just get this thing close. Now, that's a great pitch. It's right on the outside corner. I'll tell you what, look how he worked Souza. Up, down, meet in the middle.
And all of that away. Four strikeouts for the Baltimore right-hander. Ball, no strikes, the count on Cabrera. Two and one. Cabrera's coming off a no decision his last time out. He gave up 4 runs in 6 innings against Boston. It's going to even the count at 2-2. Take a look at this pitch. He's just not going to give you much of the middle of the plate.
No.
His game plan is to work the edges.
And he is doing it as well as we've seen. And that's the key. We talked early on about the fact that Miguel Gonzalez is not going to blow you away with his stuff, so he cannot afford to pitch out over the heart of the plate. He knows what he needs to do. And what we're seeing him do tonight is, like you said, pitching corner to corner, pitching ineffectively. We've seen him elevate from time to time.
Cut to miss. A 1-2-3 sixth. Bottom half of the inning coming. 3-0 Baltimore.
Home team coming to bat, the Baltimore Orioles. Guys, coming up after the game, our debut of Inside the Rays featuring Kevin Cash. You guys know that the manager does not like to draw attention to himself, so you may want to pay attention to this half hour because you may not learn any more about Kevin Cash than you will in that half hour. We talked to his former coach at Gaither High School, Frank Permui, a legend in the Hillsborough County areas. Here's a ball grounded. Logan Forsythe, nice backhand play, and the Rays second baseman with a fine defensive effort for the first out of the inning. We will also hear from Mike Martin, his legendary college coach at Florida State. We'll hear from his wife, Emily. A lot more coming up on Inside the Rays, Kevin Cash. One other thing before we take it back to the booth. Just walking around the concourse area, guys. This is kind of an impromptu series. Originally supposed to be played in Baltimore. The fans here, all general admission entries, they're loving the fact that they can sit in seats behind home plate, get vantage points they've never had before. It's been a really good crowd here. Last night, almost 10,000. Tonight, more than 10,000. Tomorrow could be the biggest of the weekend. And everybody having a good time, guys.
If there's a good time, Todd's finding it, and he did again.
It is. It's been a festive crowd the last two nights. Been impressed. Didn't know what you were going to get because it's all walk up, not on the schedule. And they come early. They're out there for batting practice, make sure they get their good seats. And very, very excited to be here. Much like Todd. By the way, the whole inside Kevin Cash, as we take a look at that play by Forsythe that Todd Callis, Travis Snyder diving into first base, that never works. It always slows you down 100% of the time. The dive to first base slows you down. If that wasn't the case, then when you would watch the 100-meter dash in the Olympics, they'd all dive across the finish line.
Can't argue with that logic.
They'll lean, but there's no leaving of the feet. Plus, it wouldn't be too cool on the turf either. But I got to the inside the Kevin Cash. I got to just kind of peer into a little bit on how they kind of work that. Todd with his voiceovers and everything else. What a pro!
Oh, no doubt. 3-2, and Joseph launches this one, and that baby is deep and gone. How about that power from Caleb Joseph, his second home run of the year, and with that swing, it's now a 4-run ball game.
Well, we've seen some good sliders from Chris Archer and then some not so good, and that just kind of hung middle of the plate, and he knew it.
Caleb Joseph. He's really been something for the Baltimore Orioles. Lowe fouls it back, strike one. He's 28 years old. Finally last year got a chance to play. He'd been in the minor leagues since 2008. Got a chance and has made the most of it, both behind the plate with his throwing and with his pop at the plate. Third home run given up by Archer this year. Frieri's up in the Rays bullpen. He'd been up prior to that home run. So 1-2. Remember that home run streak last year that Joseph got into? He had a home run in 5 straight games in early August for them last year.
That's right.
Foul ball outside of first.
Well, he's eased concerns. I mean, obviously with Matt Wieters being out majority of last year, I think he was limited to just 24 games. He got the opportunity, has taken full advantage. He's been one of the contributors this year offensively. They've been getting it from some different guys. One of the most potent offenses in Major League Baseball right now.
Well, you just wonder. Here's a guy, he did hit 22 home runs one year at AA. And you wonder if Wieters doesn't get hurt, does he ever get a chance?
Right.
And here he is being productive in a lot of areas.
Well, you know what? Forget that. Let's answer that. No, he doesn't. He doesn't get a chance yet. He doesn't get a chance with the Baltimore Orioles. Maybe he goes somewhere else. But if Matt Wieters is healthy, you know where Matt Wieters is at.
Yep.
You could have found him there all last year. He'd be the guy there this year. And then, you start to say, well, at 30, would you get an opportunity?
Tough to get it then.
Yeah.
Toward the left field line, Longoria's out there making the call, reaching back across the line. And so that is the second out. Hey, the annual Rays broadcast auction coming up soon. That'll be Wednesday, May 13th. Tune in for an opportunity to bid on exclusive experiences. Proceeds benefit the Rays Baseball Foundation and Tampa General Hospital Foundation. For information, visit raysbaseball.com/broadcast auction to preview what will be up for bid this year. Rays up. Cabrera bunts. Foul ball, strike one. Nothing ball game right now in the bottom of the 6th. Upstairs, Archer's over 100 pitches. You see 106 for Archer. He made 109 pitches on the 16th of April up in Toronto. Have been limited to 3 hits. The Orioles have 6 hits and 4 runs. Cabrera battling. It's one of the 4 strikeouts recorded by Archer tonight. Archer got him with the slider. All of his strikeouts have come on the slider. Now 2-2. Slider missed. Top of the order, Manny Machado is on deck. And so Cabrera out on strikes on a fastball. We go to the 7th, 4-0 Baltimore. Oh, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. By Courtesy Toyota, you'll love what we do for you. And by Checkers. Get Checkers Authentic Philly Cheesesteak or try the new Meatball Sub. Pick yours, too, for $5. 4-0. The Orioles scored 3 in the 3rd, added 1 in the 6th on the home run by Caleb Joseph. And we go to the 7th. It's going to be Evan Longoria to lead off against Miguel Gonzalez. Gonzalez with 76 pitches through 6. Curveball misses low and outside. Gonzalez has been up and down and all around that strike zone on the corners. Line drive, just foul, back to 3rd.
And that's the way that the night's gone for the Rays. One of the few pitches that it's found its way to the middle of the plate, and Evan hammers it a few inches foul. Been very, very precise tonight.
A big cut. A fastball, fouled it. Well, you go back to being so close to getting out of the 3rd, and you wonder if you can get out of that inning, what happens? A tough night for Chris Archer. 2-2.
You know, he stayed out there and fought and battled through a lot of pitches, and probably not a lot of them felt very good.
He's 110 pitches, which represents his season's high. Spending some time with Bobby Wilson and Jim Hickey. High fly ball into left, sending low close to the track. 2 gone. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Hey, an update on Matt Moore, and it would appear that he might be back sooner than expected. And it's demo day with Orestes Estrada. We'll see what he's demoing tomorrow. Loney takes a breaking ball for a strike. We mean by that he's demonstrating, not demolishing, right?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so, because when he breaks down somebody, it's not, underneath the light and a lot of heavy-handed tactics.
Yeah.
So I would assume that it would be
demonstrating.
Yep.
Okay. Good. Feel
some
better
baseball
about that.
maneuver. But you know what? Tune in. You never know. It's a Sunday.
Could be a surprise. Two-strike pitch. Loney hit a fly ball into left center in the second inning, then struck out in the fourth against Gonzalez. Opposite field, sliced a little bit toward the line, and Lowe makes the catch on this one. 2 outs in the 7th.
Well, you can see some of the swings from the Rays hitters and their approach to Miguel Gonzalez. They're just at this point not really sure what he is going to come with, because we've seen a little bit of everything, and we've seen him use that entire strike zone: away, in, soft, hard, cut, curve. So one thing, when you go down through his pitch breakouts, the one thing that jumps out at you is the fact that he mixes his pitches very, very well. Now, will he always be this sharp? Probably not. However, what he goes with, the pitches that he chooses, he's not predictable. And when you're not predictable and you're hitting your spots, you put yourself in line for a good night.
Found out of play, and it's 1-1. Dave Wallace is the Baltimore pitching coach, and he's a guy who joined them last year, and he had some pretty impressive credentials at the stops he had made throughout his career. And you can't help but think he would be a big help to a guy like Gonzalez, who had a pretty good idea to begin with and really had to battle. He doesn't have overpowering stuff, so he's got to figure things out and then execute.
Like that.
Strike 3 call. Beckham caught looking at a fastball. Middle of the 7th. 4-0 Baltimore.
Well, the Rays trail by 4 as we head into the bottom of the 7th inning. You know, take a look at this. Caleb Joseph and Miguel Gonzalez. Caleb Joseph sizing up Tim Beckham here. This is with 2 strikes. You know, a lot of times your catcher will ask the pitcher to shake, and watch this sequence right here. Ask him to shake. Okay, he shakes. Do it again. Do it again. 3 shakes and then a fastball away, and Tim Beckham doesn't know what's going on at this point. Just completely locks him up. You know, a lot of times you'll see that pitcher shake his head and then go with the pitch. Caleb Joseph asks him to shake 3 times. The hitter's got to be thinking, what in the world is he shaking to? And he just comes with a fastball down and away, and you're completely mind-locked.
Ernesto Frieri is the new pitcher. Second pitch in to Machado, and he lifts a fly ball to center. 1-0. Boy, that's a great catch on your part to take us inside something as basic as that, but how effective that is.
You just start to, you got an idea of how a sequence is going and what a hitter might be thinking. And Caleb Joseph's taking a look up there like, how are we going to play this? Okay, I'm going to ask you to shake. You shook. I'm going to do it again. Do it 2 or 3 times. That hitter's got to be thinking, young hitter.
Yep.
It's like, what in the world could he be shaking to? And now all of a sudden, it's just your standard everyday fastball away, and you can't pull the trigger. That's just, that's some of the hijinks and shenanigans that go on behind the scenes as you try to get into a hitter's head.
Caleb Joseph continues to make the case for himself. A 1-ball, 1-strike count. Jimmy Paredes up there. Ball, 2 strikes. 4 runs, 6 hits for Baltimore. So 6 innings for Archer. 4 runs, 6 hits, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. It's Adam Jones on deck. Rays took the first game last night 2-0. Each team with just 4 hits. Baltimore all the runs tonight on 6 hits. The Rays nothing on 3 hits. Baltimore last night dealing with 5 superb innings from Alex Colomé and then the shutdown bullpen. And we got to Archer a bit tonight. Well, the Astros and the Mariners are at it. The Astros have hit 4 home runs tonight. At home, they lead 9-4 with Seattle batting in the 6th. And Nelson Cruz has 2 home runs. He has 13 on the year. Paredes grounds out for the 2nd out.
There's a whole lot that you just talked about there that makes no sense to me. First of all, a hitter having 13 home runs right now is just completely ludicrous. The Astros and this winning streak that they're on, they're running away with the American League West already.
Yes, they are. They're after their 9th consecutive win tonight.
Wow. And 4 home runs for them.
Yep.
But this is why you play the games. This is precisely the reason why you play. You just never know.
See, they're hitting home runs. Their pitchers aren't walking anybody. A pretty good combination. 1-0 to Adam Jones. A high pop coming straight back and out of play.
And I got to be honest with you, I know Nelson Cruz hit 40 home runs last year, but I thought going to Seattle, that number was going to come down significantly. You know, you're thinking 25 to 30, and he's got 13 on May the 2nd.
Yep.
That's unbelievable start.
And another high pop foul that's coming straight back again. Those guys in the high home camera position and in the Orioles TV booth under a little fire on those last two foul balls. Ferrari goes upstairs with that fastball and did not get the chase. Well, that looked pretty good, didn't it?
I'll tell you what, Myron's strike zone is out of control this year. He loves everything.
Jones battling up there. Jones came in leading the league and hitting at 380. 5 home runs, tied for 4th in runs batted in with 19. 5th in on-base percentage, 2nd in slugging percentage. And a hot shot, short hop at short. Cabrera throws him out. We're through 7. It's 4-0 Baltimore. When cancer strikes, strike back with CyberKnife, available exclusively at Tampa Bay Radiation Oncology by Kubota. For more information or to find a participating dealer, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com and by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. In the Rays' 8th, Logan Forsythe leads off. Gonzalez opens the 8th. He's made 90 pitches. There's number 91, and it's a strike. Yeah, Houston now has 36 home runs. One ball, one strike.
Houston's the best team in baseball. Right now.
They are red hot. They've got a chance to go 10 games over 500 with a win tonight. 2-1. Right back through the middle. Through the middle and into center field. Forsythe. That's his second hit.
He went 5-hole on Miguel Gonzalez. Yikes. A couple of good at-bats here tonight for Logan.
Got a croquet game going on. Or is that a match?
I'm not sure. Does it have anything to do with cricket?
Forsythe aboard. Here's Kevin Kiermaier. Only the second time the Rays have had the leadoff man on. The other time was on Kiermaier's double in the third. Action in the bullpen. Brad Brock getting ready down the left field line. Popper left side. Cabrera retreats from shortstop. Under it. One away. Bobby Wilson will bat. Well, not much going for the Rays. Kiermaier reached third in the third. Forsythe second in the fifth. Bobby Wilson fouls it out of play. Play Evan Longoria's walk-up song from your own home of the Evan Longoria walk-up music bobblehead presented by Sun Sports. And the Rays play the Rangers Saturday, May 9th. All fans receive an Evan walk-up music bobblehead while supplies last. For tickets, call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Liner into center field, closing. Jones makes the catch. For a moment it appeared that might sink a little bit and drop in. Jones, a straight line, caught it.
Well, a little bit of backspin on this by Bobby Wilson and that closing speed. Adam Jones, you talked last night about these center fielders. If you're going to be a good defender, you've got to be fearless, good with your jumps and your routes, and he's one of the best. Close to losing his bag of sunflower seeds, though, in his back pocket. And about.
Top of the order, David DeJesus. A little bit off with that pitch. Not much, though. Gonzalez has had excellent command. Been in charge throughout the evening. On the verge of making pitch number 100 here with 2 outs and a man at first in the 8th inning. Two and 0. That's a strike, 2-1. Ball ran away, but Tim Welke liked it for a strike. Now 2-2. Steven Souza on deck. The breaking ball drops low. Curveball. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Only the 4th 3-ball count Gonzalez has had tonight. The pitch is fouled back, forcing another one. Gonzalez a 10-game winner last year, 10-9. And there is ball 4. The Rays get their first walk with 2 outs. They'll have men at first and second. And Buck Showalter pops out of that Baltimore dugout and is on his way to the mound. He's going to make a change. We'll be back in a moment. For his second win, making start number 6. And Wei-Yin Chen, the lefty, 0-1, will pitch for Baltimore. Our coverage begins at 1 o'clock tomorrow, right here on Sun Sports. A couple men on base here for the Rays. 2 outs, and Steven Souza Jr. will face Brad Brock, hard-throwing right-hander. Souza Jr. cutting them in, strike 1.
Well, and Brad Brock gives you a lot to think about. Fastball, slider, changeup, and you can see the crossfire action. Tall, lanky, throwing across his body with some nasty stuff.
Low, covered by the catcher Joseph. And as Brock goes to work on the mound, Darren O'Day goes to work in the bullpen. Not a lot to cheer about for Rays fans here tonight. They're trying to make a little noise now. 2-1 the count. This is the first time tonight that the Rays have had 2 men on base at the same time. High fly ball into right toward the line. Snyder on the run. Foul ball. He can't get there. Traverses the bullpen mound. And it's 2-2. We had Gonzalez at 105 pitches, which is 3 short of his longest outing of the year in terms of pitch count. 7 2/3, his longest in innings accumulated in any one game this year.
Not many mistakes in that 105 either.
Up and away. The count is full.
How about this? You get the base runners moving. Brock has to come out over the plate here. Steven Souza should get a pretty good pitch to handle. If not, take your walk. Rays making it interesting late.
3-2, runners go. It's popped up, foul, carrying back toward the stands. Joseph gives it an effort. It comes back to him, and he makes the catch right in front of the screen. Rays lead 2. Bottom of the 8th coming, 4-0. Game summary brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. 4-0 shutout baseball by Miguel Gonzalez for 7 2/3. Steve Pearce drove in 2 of the 3 third-inning runs for Baltimore. The Orioles lead 4-0 as we go to the 9th for the bottom of the 8th. And the new pitcher is Xavier Cedeno. His first pitch, a breaking ball, is in there for a strike to Chris Davis. Rays with 1 shot left, and that's in the top of the 9th inning. Two.
You saw Xavier Cedeno's line from up in New York. We've seen him with the fastball, the slurvy breaking ball. Tries to take that pitch away from the left-handed hitter.
There's a ground ball into right. And with the shift on, that's out number 1. Forsythe takes care of Chris Davis. So the Rays make their second call to the bullpen, and we'll take a look at the cold hard facts brought to you by Clean Chris Coors Light. What the bullpen has done in the last 11 games, holding the opposition to a batting average of 150.
More strikeouts than innings pitched. They've been very, very good. We saw that last night. I mean, with as well as Colomé threw the ball, You know, he came out of that game after just 5 innings, and your bullpen had to eat 4, and boy, did they ever. 7 strikeouts, 1 hit given up. That's the kind of role they've been on. Almost in the right order, too. You just got to flip Geltz and Gomes.
Yep.
Well, and Jepson, too.
Shuffle them up a little bit.
You never know. You never know.
That's right.
But those were the guys last night.
Well, they've spread around some saves out there, too. Roxburgh getting most of them. 2-1 on the slider, and cut and the miss.
Well, how about when you add Jake McGee to that mix? You may have starters that will never get a chance at a win. They'll just pull them after 4 and send in the 5 guys at the end.
That does seem to be a trend, doesn't it? Two and 2. Clubs spending more time and attention on putting together good, solid, and deep bullpens now.
You'd like to get varied looks, but you want them to be dominant, and you want to be able to shorten games.
Full count on Pierce. Take a look at this pitch. Close. Yeah, close is right. One out, bases empty. Rays in the 9th have Cabrera, Longoria, and Loney due up. They try to pull off a comeback here. Just 1 shot left. Trying to hold the Orioles in the bottom of the 8th. Cabrera at short, gloves and throws. 2 gone.
Right fielder, Travis Snyder.
Travis Snyder, who has a walk, otherwise 0 for 2. Ball, no strikes. Now 1-1. Well, the lefty side of the Rays bullpen with injuries got pretty thin. Had to go looking for some help and found Cedeno, getting him from the Dodgers.
And you've seen some stuff here that can be effective. Sweeping that breaking ball to the lefties. That fastball we just saw, about 90 miles an hour. Move the ball around.
Always behind Snyder, 3-1.
That's where some of that variety that we were talking about comes from. Lefties, to get the tough lefties out late in the game. You had Jeff Beliveau, he's done for the season. C.J. Riefenhauser on the disabled list.
Base hit, punched through the middle.
Cedeno just about put on the disabled list with that bullet by Snyder. We're going right back up the middle. We've seen some close ones here tonight. One over Archer's head between Miguel Gonzalez's legs, and wow. Right by you.
Keep that pitching elbow out of the way.
Oh boy. Oh yeah, that hand goes out and that list gets bigger.
Caleb Joseph made it a 4-run game with a home run to left in the 6th. Ball, no strikes. 1-1. Ball, 2 strikes. Cedeno pitched on Tuesday in New York. He followed Odorizzi to the mound. We'll be with you at 1 o'clock tomorrow. 1:30. All the action begins, but our coverage and the action of our coverage begins at 1 o'clock right here on Fox's Sun Sports. Time granted as Caleb Joseph stepped back for a moment. Count remains a ball, 2 strikes. Rays last night got their 3rd shutout of the year. And so far tonight, they have been shut out. That shutout, by the way, was the 101st shutout by Rays pitching since Jim Hickey's first season as pitching coach back in '07. And that tops the American League in that span. Joseph out on strikes as he vacates the plate. We will go to the 9th, 4-0 Baltimore. Nothing as we go to the 9th. Coming up on Rays Live, the post game presented by Checkers. Rich and Orestes anchors the coverage. We'll have the Kevin Cash press conference available, and Todd Callis will provide interviews from the Rays clubhouse. Ray Navarro enters the game at second, and Pierce goes from second to first. Here in the 9th, and the Rays will have Asdrubal Cabrera to lead off against Brad Brock. He goes after the first pitch, skies it to left where David Lowe's after it. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 9th.
Well, you're hoping that the middle of the Rays lineup can come alive here and try to give Baltimore a finish of some sort. It's been a quiet night. A lot of that because of Miguel Gonzalez and the job that he did. He was excellent tonight for the Orioles. Not too many outs left to work with.
First pitch, fastball and a strike. Evan Longoria 0 for 3 tonight. Brock got the final out in the 8th when he retired Steven Souza Jr. on a foul ball. If the Rays do not come back, they will fall 2 games back of New York in the East, with Boston and Baltimore each being 3 back and Toronto 3.5. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Longoria is out on strikes. 7th strikeout for Baltimore pitching.
Well, chasing the changeup, you see right there, Brock able to take that pitch down below the zone, and Evan comes up empty.
Well, the Rays down to their final out, and James Loney steps into the batter's box. Shoots it up the left side, foul. Last night, the Rays utilized 5 pitchers and a combination shutout, holding the Orioles to 4 hits. And so far tonight, the combination of Gonzalez and Brock holding the Rays to no runs and 4 hits. A 1-1 count to James Loney. Two and 1. Three balls and a strike. Ground ball handled by Cabrera at short, and this game is over. The Rays go 3 up and 3 down in the 9th inning, and the Baltimore Orioles even this series at a game apiece, as these 2 teams have exchanged shutouts in the first 2 games of the series. For tonight, the Orioles 4-7-0, 6 left for the Rays, 0-4-0, 5 left. Gonzalez the winning pitcher, Archer the losing pitcher, for 12,789. Same 2